body image is all around us. We are constantly getting these messages of how we should look, the ideal man or woman. What does this even mean?
Help, I have done it again. I have been.
An addiction is an obsession over something that takes over the mind. You think you can't live without it. For me, it was not eating. Sophomore year, I started learning about eating disorders, and I don't even know why. Maybe it's because I have a predisposition to it, but it sounded like a good idea. I became a cheerleader, and I had a lot of hard classes when I was going to school. I took plenty of hard classes, and it was just really overwhelming and stressful. And then in cheer, you had to be small. People are always looking at you. You need to go higher. You need to be stronger, you know, and you're always getting compared to the girl sitting next to you, and that didn't really bother me. But eventually it did take its toll. I knew what I was doing was wrong when I wasn't eating, but at the same time, I didn't think I had a problem. I knew I was losing weight, and I knew it wasn't right. It doesn't matter how thin you get, it's never good enough, and you never feel good enough. I wasn't X amount of pounds, so I wasn't unhealthy. I looked healthy, I looked normal, I wasn't as sick as so-and-so, and that's the thing with an eating disorder. It's something that really messes with your mind. It really doesn't make you think that you're as sick as you are. You know, I haven't gotten treatment, I haven't done this. There's always someone sicker than you. Most people who see me, they think I'm this really bubbly, lively person, and I am. I can be. That's how I am around most people, but there are things that a smile can hide, and that's the truth of it. I was able to hide my problems really well. I have a very supportive family that really cares about me, but I didn't talk to them about it. I didn't speak out about it. I didn't want them to know. The one thing I would like to say in general to anyone who is struggling with this problem is that there is help. I mean, I got help, I'm happy, and I love who I am, and it's not like I would ever want to go back to the way I was. Never. And that feeling of not feeling good enough, it's gone.
I grew up in Arizona, and I know that when I was over there, I was basically a free-spirited person. I would ride horses, I would hang out with friends, and so on. And I never really thought about the image issue or, you know, anything. You know, I was fairly active because it was always sunny, and I would love to play outside. But as soon as I moved here 5 years ago, I noticed that when I entered high school, you know, when I started high school, I noticed that there was a lot of people, ladies, girls, that were always self-conscious about how they looked. I noticed that there was, you know, girls being active, girls always, you know, I just noticed it more a lot over here, and that's when I started becoming a little self-conscious about myself, and I didn't, you know, it finally took effect on me probably my third year of high school, my junior year. I noticed that, you know, the girls were cheerleaders, you know, they were runners and everything, and I wasn't very comfortable living in the state anyways. I didn't feel like it was home to me anymore, and I just stayed at home, and I didn't really care about how I looked anyways afterwards. But like I said, I just started becoming more self-conscious and stayed home because I didn't want to embarrass myself running or anything like that. I didn't want to be like the odd person over here. So that's basically it, you know. It's different. It's different over here than it is over there. I know, like, I'm already Hispanic, and you know, Hispanics are known to be a little bit more thicker, and especially my mom just, you know, keeps feeding us delicious food. But you know, you know, it was part of my culture anyway to be kind of thick. I mean, it runs in my family for us to be thick girls, but you know, I can always work on that. But it's just, you know, moving from one, you know, confined space into a new one kind of like, you know, just kind of took its toll on me. But that's my self-image issue and how it's been affecting me as a person.
I remember when I was a kid, I kind of liked it, like to dress like my mom, wearing her clothes, put her makeup, things like that. But when I start like growing up and I start thinking about it, I realized that I got a little tired of all this, so I just stopped. I stopped using makeup, I stopped using high heels. Actually, I hate wearing high heels, just I can't walk with those. But I have a couple of friends that were models, and like my best friend, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my entire life. And she wanted in her head that she wanted to be a model, so I watched her stop eating. She just stopped eating. She was already thin and she stopped eating. She was just like, for our lunch and dinner it was a pack of snacks, you know, like those crazy stuff. Or after a while I was afraid to hug her. Like, I thought I was gonna break her. And so finally she put that out of her head and returned to be a normal person. Whatever a normal person is. But yeah, that was fine. I think I realized that the more I like myself and accept myself the way I were, the happiest I was. You know, like when you stop thinking that you are too fat, you are too thin, your ears are not the same size, or I don't know, like once you accept that, it's just easier to do anything. You're yourself. You realize that you don't need all this stuff because you can be happy without having the perfect body.
I am makeup free about 350 days of the year, and I'm okay with that. I started wearing makeup when everybody else did, like in middle school, and like every day everybody did. And then there was this girl who came in and she wasn't wearing any, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, like what's wrong with her? And somebody actually said, are you sick? And she was like, no, I was running late and I didn't have time to put my makeup on. And so that was kind of like a whoa moment for me. I was like, I don't want people to look at my real face and think that I'm sick or that I didn't get enough sleep, or you know, that something's wrong with me. So I choose not to wear it so that people can see my real face. And I love it. You wouldn't believe how much more confident you can feel when people tell you you're looking good and you're not wearing anything on your face to cover yourself up. So my first time being pregnant, I had been super skinny for years before that, and I'd never considered myself skinny even then. But after having a baby, you really feel pressured. You really feel like it's impossible to get back to that shape you had before, but people expect it. And you know, you're not even supposed to work out right away after having a baby, so during that time you should be enjoying those little moments you have, because they grow so fast. You're worried about how you look and how you're not good enough for the world, and you know, it's really hard seeing all the celebrities. They go from, you know, giant and pregnant, and then 2 weeks later they've got this teeny bikini body. So yeah, it's really hard coming out of pregnancy to get back to that body. It takes time and it's really depressing. So that's my story.
Body image has always affected me a lot since I was a dancer for so long, and we were told you had to be skinny, you had to be skinny, you had to be skinny. If you weren't skinny, we'd put you in the back. Didn't matter what you looked like, if you were the best, the worst dancer, if you weren't small, you had to be put in the back. And so it was really hard for me when I was playing volleyball, and I blew out both my ankles, and I couldn't dance anymore. I gained a bunch of weight, and that was really hard, weight that I never had before. And I was so self-conscious. I thought there was something wrong with me, and I didn't want to eat ever, and it was just really hard because I was always the skinny one. I was always a dancer, I was always skinny. I could wear whatever I want, I could eat whatever I want because I was dancing so often. So affected me really hard when I couldn't dance anymore. And so it's really hard when you're one way for so long and then everything just changes. Everything's just done. People are judging you. They're like, oh, I wonder what happened to her. She was so small. And so, like, it took me a while to get comfortable with myself and be comfortable with who I am. I'm a tall person. I'm naturally, like, bigger than people. So it was really hard. But once, like, I felt comfortable in my own skin, like, it feels so much better. Like, I'm at peace with how I am. I'm comfortable with how I am. And if I want to wear makeup, I'll wear makeup. If I don't want to wear makeup, I won't wear makeup. So it's kind of cool being comfortable and knowing that it's okay. It's okay to be comfortable.
We all come in different shapes, all different sizes. The pressure put on us to be perfect is astounding, but we're not perfect, and that's okay. It's okay to be short, it's okay to be tall, to have big hips or none at all. The differences among us are what makes us beautiful. We can't change who we are, and we shouldn't have to. More importantly, we shouldn't.
Wear makeup to feel beautiful.
Criticize the shape of your body just because you're not like a model.
Hate yourself for what you're not.
Change yourself for other people.
Be perfect.
I